So the first website is for Canopy Lake Park. I think it's the best website of the four that I chose. It's very easy to use, and all the buttons are very large and they kind of pop out at you. Um, as you can see, the name is in the top left corner, and when you go to the tabs at the top, they pop up and give you more options, and each option is obviously related to the tab. And then basic, less important, but still necessary links are all the way at the top where they usually are. And the most important information that people usually look for are the hours. And as you can see, the fall hours are right here in this giant button. And you don't even have to click into it, you just hover your mouse over and it tells you right there with all the information. The same information is right here in between everything, but when I was looking at it, my eyes skipped right past it and went straight to the buttons. And they all have a little bit extra information. And then when you scroll down to the bottom to find, like an address or directions, they do have the address listed right there. And also, very easy to find, it says free parking, which is usually really important to people. The next website I did that I thought followed web standards well was Playland Amusement Park. The name right in the top left, helpful. I liked that with their pages they have little arrows to signify that there's more there, and the ones that don't have them are clearly just one click. And if you want the latest news, it's right there. All the buttons are really large, they stand out. The directions are at the bottom, which is where they usually are. So it's not a thrilling website, but I think they did a pretty good job. The next website is Sandcastle Water Park. I didn't think they did as good a job as the other two. The first thing I noticed was that they do have a bar at the top, and I immediately thought it was a search bar. It's just a big white bar and it says go next to it, but it's actually a promotional bar, because if you look to the left it says enter promo, and that's the only way it works, which I thought was just kind of confusing and weird. I also didn't realize that these buttons are actually links. At first I just thought they were part of the picture because the colors just kind of blended in. It doesn't stand out or look like a link in any way. So just the rest of the site isn't that bad, but those few things stood out to me as really confusing in an unnecessary way. And then I also reviewed Ripley's Believe It or Not website. It was a little trickier because clearly Ripley's is supposed to be more of an oddities type of thing, so their website of course is going to be different and break some website standards and conventions, but I thought this one it didn't do it in an interesting way, it just did it in a confusing, overwhelming way. For example, these drop down menus at the top are just really link heavy, and it's just a lot of reading and just very confusing. These buttons are kind of spread out awkwardly, which I think is fine. Ripley's is an awkward company, so that makes sense. And then there's just more information and you have to click. And then the footer is huge. It's all the information that probably would have been better off being higher up on the page, like all the social media icons. I think it's unnecessary to have descriptions. Most people can just look at this and know it's RSS and know this is Facebook. I think they just did an overwhelming and confusing job on their site.